All right, guys, welcome back to the Depth Perception Podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about social media and starting your Opto IG.
Oh, we live, baby.
Oh, yeah,
Hear ye, hear ye. You didn't say it.
you're right. Hear ye, hear ye. Here we go.
Perfect.
Here. Let's go.
Perfect. Let's introduce ourselves.
I'm Svetlana.
Just Deep Sing Sony Opto Turban.
Nadia. I am Dr. Nadia.
And I'm about to be Dr. Doug.
Ayo.
Okay, so let's have Nadia go first. How did you start your Instagram account?
So let me think back, guys. When I was a young girl, um, so when I was leaving Florida, I had like a private Instagram. It was my personal Instagram. And so I had seen like a lot of people from like dental and like all these like my friend because like I was pre-dent before and I'd seen like people who had gone to dental school like have dental student Instagrams, and it was like a big thing. Like there was like student doctor Instagrams, but there wasn't really optometry. Like I would like search for it, but there was like no real student optometrists on IG. So anyway, I unprivated my private Instagram and made it public. And at the time I had like, I don't know, 300 followers. It was just like my friends. And then when I started school, I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna try to do what all those other people did. Like, maybe I can be successful in being kind of like a pioneer, I don't know, in like optometry student Instagramming. So it started slowly and I got a lot of hate for it. People were like not about it at the time because they were like, "Oh, who are you trying to be? Oh, you're trying to be an influencer." So I was like, "Well, yeah, whatever. I'm gonna post anyway, so I'm gonna do it." So it just started growing like a little bit at a time, and I think that like right around when like COVID was starting, I think I had like 1,500 followers or something like that. So that was like 2 years in. And then Reels started coming out because like everyone was at home, everyone was getting on TikTok and things like that. So they had just introduced like Reels onto like the Instagram platform. And so I ended up I think just being like one of the first people that like was doing it. And so people would like share the videos, everyone was at home. So I started gaining a lot of like momentum there, just like making stupid little skits in my kitchen. And I think we all know the most popular one was like the optometry students versus dental students versus med students one.
Yeah, I don't
So
know.
I followed you after that
you
one.
know,
I
Doug.
remember.
So, people just started like, I guess, like sharing my page more, and then it started growing. And I think that I'm at like 14K or like almost 15K now.
You know the
Um,
exact number. What number you at? 14 point
no, I
what?
don't, I don't know it.
Uh,
I didn't check it just now.
14.7 maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I think it's like 14.9, but it's not about the numbers. It's about the engagement. Honestly, like people
Yeah.
follow your page, but then they like don't like things, so your engagement's low because they're
No,
just
that's
like
facts.
watching, I guess. Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's kind of what happens when your like numbers grow, you just lose that like engagement more. And ironically, like I didn't realize how popular it was until I started going to these conferences again because I was in the same class with like 10 like however many people who were in my clinic group, and then in my class there's like 80 people that see me every day. They don't care that I'm on Instagram. So then it was really cool to like go to the conferences and all that stuff, and people were like, "Oh my God, I follow you on social media." And it's like, "Oh my gosh, I feel like you're like friends like automatically, because they get to watch your life and they get to kind of see you growing and see all your struggles." And I know that the last podcast we kind of talked about like, "Oh, did you post about you crying?" And I was like, "Yeah, I mean, I did because people are going through that. People are relating to you in that way and kind of empathizing with you and all this stuff." But am I rambling? Um
Nope.
Oh, that was good.
But yeah, I'll let someone else go. I'll have more to say later. Next.
JD, your turn.
Yeah, started my page, let's see, in the third year of optometry school for me. So first it was just like, hey, like when you meet people, it's nice to just shake their hand, but also add them on social media and you just stay connected that way. And then from there, try to post like jokey stuff. And then from there, I think what really helped me was starting the podcast with Defocus Media, being able to interview people. It gave like really good one-on-one conversations, and then started able to connect with other influencers. Then it turned into speaking at conferences or going to transitions, and then reels took off during COVID, and was able to make some reels and enjoy that. After clinic, when I started working, it became not just like a diary or a journal of what's going on in my life, but also just something to look forward to and make funny reels about. And then now I think it's in another transition period where I definitely want to represent myself in a different way, and talk about some new ambitions outside of school. And I think it's overall just a great way to stay in touch with people, network with people in the field. I still have patients and friends ask me questions about eyes, which is great. It's just like an easy way to connect with people who you meet, whether it be patients or family. And then, like I said before on the other podcast, like I got my job because of it. So you really don't know the connections you're going to make because of this and what's going to lead to. And it's led to us here too, and developing our friendship. So I think it's been an amazing tool, and I definitely recommend it to everybody, even if it's as simple as a graduation photo and just like a diary or a journal for yourself.
Wait, so real quick, you mentioned speaking at conferences. Where'd you get to speak at? It's pretty cool.
Yeah, at Vision Expo West, I was able to speak on a panel with Ask Dr. Nish and Jennifer Chin, and we did a panel together, and that was really cool.
Wow.
Really humbling to be with those names. And
How did you like get that? Did they reach out to you through
And
like
what
your
did you guys
social?
talk about? Yeah.
yeah, I was able to get the opportunity because of Defocus Media, because we were podcasting with them, and they asked me if you'd like to be on this young optometrist or students optometrist panel, and I was of course honored to do it. And they asked us questions about what we thought about the future of optometry, and I think we just brought a different perspective because the other panels there were, optometrists that were established already.
Yeah.
Nice.
What was your question, Doug?
Cool.
You said it already. Just like what did you guys talk about? But you said that, so that's cool.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Now every time I see these people, you're able to just shake their hand and say, "Hey, remember that we met each other at that moment right there when we spoke together." If I ever need anything, I still message these people, and they have that personal touch, which is amazing.
We had some technical. So
So Doug, tell us about
Doug.
your Instagram story.
Instagram story. All right, where do I start? So I started from the bottom. Now I'm here. Like, is that my theme? Okay, so pretty much, yeah, I got into Instagram or like social stuff, not even like wanting to do it. I did it because my best friend at the time, when I was like applying into optometry school, he had a clothing line called Articulating the Articulate. And so he was like, hey, like help me like promote the brand. Let's get our Instagrams popping so it looks cool and like, let's get it going. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna support for sure. So kind of just like every day was grinding, building it up, doing like we had like photo shoots and like just it was kind of more of a style brand, like, or I guess my page was more fashionista type, if you will. And like through the algorithms and whatever, like my followers kept going up. So once I got into school, I wasn't even like really into it, like I said. So I kind of stopped and got so busy with everything that goes on in school, tests, exams, social life, just like, it's a lot to actually try to build your thing without like buying followers. Um, and so, but I realized like with having like quite a few followers, these brands reach out and you kind of just get like cool benefits. Like they're just like, hey, like be a brand ambassador, we'll send you free stuff. And I'm like, okay, like this could actually be a thing. So how do I like transition that into like my profession? Like I want to just do that for that. So then that's when I started incorporating more optometry stuff. Um, but also I've always like been into like making funny and like goofy videos or whatever. Like I used to do it in the MySpace days. If y'all even know what that is, I don't know. Like, way before Instagram or YouTube, I was making videos on MySpace, but I just never I did it for fun. I never like thought it could be a thing. So it's cool that now like the media is like that, and you can like show a fun side, but also give cool facts, and that's I guess where I'm at right now.
Yeah, agreed.
That's really cool. Um, I liked your story, Doug.
But how
Thank
did you
you.
get into social media?
So there was a period I went through that I deleted my social media, like personal Instagram, deleted it. I think it was freshman or sophomore year of college. And then I came back around junior year of college saying that I wanted, oh, I started the pre-optometry club at my school, and then I had to create an Instagram for that. From creating the pre-optometry club's Instagram, I saw that there was like OD influencers, like student opto influencers. Probably you, Nadia. Who knows? But I don't remember who I saw. Let's say it was Nadia. And
She
huh?
said influencer, Doug. Okay.
All
Damn.
right, whatever. That's
Yeah, I
fine.
said
I'm still
influencers.
micro influencer. It's fine. Whatever.
Yeah. And then I was like, wow, I can do that. I want to do that. So then that's what had me open up Instagram, and I said it's just going to be all optometry. It's going to be my journey getting into optometry school. So that's where I started off. And then I think that's kind of what got people to start following me, so to speak, because I was very open about my journey. On my Instagram, I talked about how I had to take the OAT twice. I talked about how like I had to do interviews like online. Like I talked about that whole process, what I was doing in undergrad to then go straight into optometry school. So I went through everything, very open about it, and that's still kind of what I do. I help out a lot of like pre-opto students. That's kind of people who are following me and reach out to me for that advice. And yeah, and then I started following doctors, started getting to know like all of you guys. I think Transitions Academy, we talked about that. But Transitions Academy is where we got to be like up close and personal and really get to know each other. But it's really cool through Instagram. It's like, oh yeah, I have this friend in Canada, or this friend in Boston, or this friend in in other states at other schools that you wouldn't really know that they're your friend, or you wouldn't call them your friend if you didn't have like an opto IG, you know?
Mm,
Right.
yeah.
And other doctors too, yeah. Actually, I remember Dr. Alex Corbin. I met up with him. He came to visit out in Berkeley, and he talked about Doug. He's like, "Oh yeah, I know Doug," and I was like, "Oh yeah, I know Doug too."
Shout
And
outs to
then
Dr. Corbin.
yeah, and I thought that was so cool because I think you reached out to him through Instagram, and
Yeah,
you know, yeah, how would you do that if you didn't have it?
exactly.
What other benefits have you guys seen through having your social media?
Right. So, um, I mean, like we talked about in the last podcast, it's like networking and all this stuff, and I think that do we talk about like if it's like don't do it unless it's fun, or is that we're talking about that now?
That's right now. That's
Yeah,
right now.
Okay.
yeah,
So so I think in a sense, I know that we like you guys are like, oh, you have like such and such amount of followers, blah blah, blah, right? But in all honesty, I don't really check because that's what I told myself. Like I told myself that I'm just kind of doing this for fun. And if it starts feeling like it's work and like all that stuff, it's not going to be enjoyable for you, and it's going to feel like this is a task, and people are going to see that because I think we talked about this, JD, when we were at the conference, that people follow you because they see a part of themselves in you, and so that is what makes them feel like they want to get to know your life and they want to get to know you better because they just see like parts of themselves in you, and that's what how you gain these followers. So yeah, if I'm posting me crying, like people are relating to that. If I post, my triumphs or my struggles, people are like, oh wow, like me too, like I get it. And so they kind of like to grow with you and kind of see how you're doing. And on the upside of that, like some people just want to see you fail and they kind of follow you to see how you misstep, and that happens too. But I think you have to make it so it's not like a job. You have to make it so it's fun. For me in optometry school, especially, like I needed like an outlet. because like you're studying all day, it's like so tedious, and sometimes you just need a break. And for me, I think a lot of people are like spend a lot of time like making their ideas, making their reels and things like that, but for me it just takes the same amount of time that you see. Like I might retake one thing, but I don't spend extra amounts of time editing. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because sometimes I'm like, wow, people have really quality products and they spend a lot of time editing things, but I just make it and I go with it and I have an idea and I just post it. Because if you get hung up on like, oh, is it good? Is it too good? Is it not good enough? I think you kind of like lose that little bit of like authenticity too. Like, if it's good, it's good. If it doesn't take off, it doesn't take off. If nobody likes it, then that's fine. If it gets 20 likes, then that's fine. If it gets a 3,000 likes, then that's fine too. I think you just have to realize that like you're not posting to become popular. I think you have to make it so that you're just posting about you and your life. And for me, it was like a diary, and it was like an outlet. And I think people just kind of gravitated towards that, and people who were doctors kind of were like, oh yeah, I remember when I was in school, and students who were not in yet are like, wow, this could be me. Um, and I think that that way that I benefited from it, from like my mental health, honestly, because sometimes we've all been there. It's just been a lot. And so I was like, I need a break.
I think
So
that's
I don't know if
refreshing
that
because
answered
like
the
on the
question.
yeah, no, that does. I mean, it's refreshing because I think you're hitting on being genuine, and then that's will keep you. People will gravitate towards you being genuine and not like really forcing something. But also, you'll enjoy it more too. And I feel on the opposite side where I think, for me, I think there was times where I wanted to post personally just to post, and so that's where I think hearing that is like really valuable to know. Like, I just need to be myself, and people will see that. And if you want to really make change, you have to really believe in your messages. You can't just put something out there.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
that's
also
definitely
on
a
the
fact.
upside of that, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
Okay.
like with great power comes great responsibility, right? So there's a lot of times when, I mean, I think we all know that there's been that debate where the OMDs sometimes harp on us, right? And like they don't think that we should have like more control, like the laws are changing and things like that. And so people will like be like, well, you should say something about it, and they like are looking to me to say something because of the fact that I have this like following, and then I feel like obligated to say my 2 cents, even though maybe I didn't want to, or like, so and then on the other side of that, like I remember when I passed part one, and like the scores were low, people were not passing, and it happens. Like, I mean, I had to retake TMOD, like things happen, like, so people were like, can you stop bragging about it? I was like, okay, well, I'm just trying to like celebrate my accomplishments. But then, I mean, I can see why, because like I said, with great power comes great responsibility. So you have to be aware of like all these things that are happening, even though you're not thinking about it, because there are a lot of people that have their eyes on you, and there are a lot of people who um like are watching your every move, even though they're not liking your posts or whatever. People are still seeing everything that you're doing.
So we can pretty much say that you're the LeBron James of optometry, Instagram, and social media. Got it.
Mm, I mean, not to brag. No, I'm kidding. But
I
Oh,
think
is
that's very
LeBron
going
cool.
James a good player?
Oh wow! Don't do that.
Oh
Uh,
gosh.
Is that
wow.
Oh
like
no, no.
soccer or
Yeah,
Football.
sports
yeah.
ball?
Exactly. Wait,
No,
so
but
I had a
going,
question.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, SV, but
go
so
ahead.
with social media, it can have its negative effects. How do you guys like, steer away from that? Like, how do you guys steer away from the negative comments or the things that could bring you down?
Yeah,
What keeps
actually,
you
Doug, I
going?
was just gonna go into that too. I was gonna talk about the negative part of it. And I
Okay.
think for anyone listening to this and you're debating on starting an Opto Instagram, just do it. I know that in the back of your mind, um, you think, oh, someone's gonna make fun of me, someone might say something mean, or someone might just hate on me. And I think we can all attest to you will, like that will happen. There's been times where, um, like, like people you're close to, they don't want to follow you, or they don't want to support you, or they think your page is annoying, or they're like, oh, why are you sharing or talking about this? Like, nobody really wants to know about that. Or but you're like, no, people actually do want to know about this, or people do feel like they relate to me, and I want to be as genuine and as personal as I can on my page. So why wouldn't I share this? But you're gonna get hate from people, or like when Nadia talked about how she passed her board score, she should be able to post that and be proud about herself. She shouldn't keep that in the dark. And especially on her Opto page where she's sharing her journey on how she became an optometrist. We should be able to do that on your own page. So when you share these things, you are going to get hate, and you have to have the confidence to be like, I am inspiring people. I think for me, being a Latina, I should have talked about that in the first podcast. We were introducing ourselves, but being a Latina, I'm half Mexican and half Nicaraguan. Like, that's another reason why I wanted to start this whole thing, because there's not a lot of Latino optometrists out there. There wasn't a lot of people that I could look up to, and when I was talking to students who are coming into optometry school, they're like, "Wow, you can do it. You're a Latino out there, Latina," and like, I want to do that too. Like, I want to be like Latina optometrist, and I want to see myself, like I see myself doing it because I see you doing that. And you're like, oh, okay, well, I should continue the whole Instagram thing because I actually am inspiring people. And until you get those good comments or like those good DMs or those really nice DMs, you're like, yeah, no, I can't focus just on the negative, because like the good DMs will there be more good than there is bad, but as humans we like focus right on that bad.
Yeah, and I think that's a good topic for our future podcasts, like diversity and optometry and things like that. And I'm sure we'll get into it. But yeah, I mean, I agree. I think representing people matters, and we're all different cultures and different backgrounds here as well. And so I think it's nice that we have that and we can kind of share that on social. So, and I agree. I think so for me, you have to have like thick skin too. Like you can't. My most popular videos are literally hate comments. Like like my most viewed videos are videos where I
Wow.
say that I'm a doctor and people are just like mind blown. Like everybody has something to say about how optometrists are not doctors. And like those
Wow.
are the most like commented on videos, and people will argue to death on those ones. And
Wow,
I
that's
just sit
crazy.
and I
That's
just
sad.
scroll and I just laugh, because you know what? The more views I get, the more money I'm making monetizing my reels. And if you guys want to
Yeah.
spend your time commenting on that, then that's fine. So I do read. I've learned that you shouldn't comment back. So I try not
Mm.
Mm,
to engage as much with those kinds of posts. Like I do engage with like, oh, my friends won't like comment on my stuff, but um I feel like I've learned that you can't. I mean, it's a fight. It's never gonna end. You can't fight those kinds of haters. They're hiding behind their computers. They have something to say, you know? So it's just best to kind of like shake it off and stay silent, kind of like let them do their thing. And the more they're hating on you, the more popular you're getting, in the end of it. So, just kind of let them do their thing.
I
yeah.
think
And if you
being
don't like it, don't follow me. Like that's always my thing. Like people who are like trying to tell me how to run my page, just don't follow me. Like if you
Don't
don't like me
follow.
posting, just don't do it. If I will like be quiet for a really long time, and then I'll post like 10 stories in a row, I'll just ramble. And then like you
Yeah.
won't see me again for another like 10 days, and then I'll just ramble again. And if you're not down for that, just don't watch them. Don't watch the story, don't watch all 10 of them. Watch 2 of them and then stop watching. Like I don't care. It's fine.
I think being conscious about those
Sure.
pitfalls are like really important. So what you're saying there is like ignore the haters, which I think is helpful. I think another one is like not comparing yourself to other people. Like if
Yeah.
you have 14,000 followers, doesn't make your page any less versus if someone has 1,000. Like post for yourself. Don't worry about the numbers. Be genuine to who you are. A new idea I personally been having is maybe getting like a social media manager so that you don't have to deal with seeing the comments. And maybe that's a new concept we can discuss what we think about that. Obviously, that takes an investment of time and money
Mm.
to like not do it yourself. But like I think part of it's like part of the human brain to see negative comments and have negative thoughts. But there's also like Savat was saying a lot of positive comments too. So I think it's definitely worth those interactions. And but there's like a way to be smart about it, being conscious about these things.
Yeah.
And I think for me, what I really do is I just post and I don't care. Like I post and then I get out.
Yeah, I
Like
think that that's the key. Like, you just can't care. Like, you have to
can't, yeah,
care enough,
Yeah.
but you have to do it.
care. Look, I'll look, but then it's
Yeah.
just like it doesn't
Yeah.
really matter. Like I'm not.
Mm-mm.
I'll
You can't
look in
care.
the sense that like I like to see what's popular and what's not. Like I like to see what kind of content people are engaging with and not engaging. But that doesn't mean I'm
Of
not gonna post
course.
content people are not engaging. I don't care.
Right.
Yeah,
If I have a cute outfit on,
Right.
I'm gonna post about it on my optometry page, and
yeah,
that's it. You guys are gonna have to look at it.
yeah.
That's it.
And that goes into like having balance too. It can't always all be about opto and eyes. You have to throw in a little bit of your personality, who you are, and your
Yeah,
cute outfit is a part of it.
and I think you have to know what your niche is and your brand is, right?
Sure.
For
Yeah,
me, it was always like, it wasn't like, oh, Dr. Nadia. It was always like, I am Nadia, right? So it's just, you knew what you were signing up for. You were signing up to watch my life, basically.
yeah,
And that's not all optometry all the time. It is mostly, I try to keep it like at least 75% optometry, and sometimes it's not. I mean, I was not practicing for a while, and now I'm tired when I get home. I don't like post as often about stuff, but if your niche is like fashion, then yeah. If your niche is like education, then that's, your thing. So I think that when people follow you, they know what you're about, and that's why they do it. And I think
we should
people
go
now
into
like if they're following Svet, they know like, oh, I'm gonna learn more about student life and like the advice she's giving, and I think we all have our own individual things that people like see us and they're like, oh yeah, I know the kind of content that you represent, right? And I think
yeah,
we were kind of talking about monetizing kind of off camera earlier. But like certain brands are looking for certain people, and then the same brand that's going to reach out to me is not the same brand that's going to reach out to JD or Doug or Svet. So again, it's not a competition. And so we just kind of have to grow in our own avenues, and that's how it is.
I don't know, man. A lot of these women's like jewelry brands keep reaching out, and I'm like, yo, I'm a guy, right? Like, you
It's
got
that's
fine.
a
charms.
scam. That's
You
a
got charm.
scam, Doug.
It's like, it's
Stop
like, yo,
flexing, Doug. We get it, okay?
I'm just saying. Like, they're like,
Speaking
pick
of
3 free
LeBron,
charms.
the LeBron James
We'll
of
send you
jewelry.
3 free.
Yeah.
We should go into the part of social media. So, like, you started your Opto IG account, and now you're in this pit of like, hey, I kind of lost. It's not fun, or like I've been posting a lot, and now I haven't posted in a month because that happens to me. Where like I'll be busy with school, for instance, and I don't even want to be on Instagram. I'm overwhelmed with studying, overwhelmed with exams, going through the student life, and suddenly I don't want to post anything. I don't want to engage. I find myself turning away from social media. Have you guys been there? And what do you guys do?
I just take a break. I think I've been on a little break since graduation. Just trying to get everything together, and just, life sometimes gets in the way, and it does be like I said, if it's not fun, don't post it. And at one point I was
Yeah,
like, if I'm gonna make something, it's gonna be work. Like I gotta take the time, I gotta look up the popular sound, I gotta do the whole thing, I gotta dress, gotta put the makeup on, gotta make the time for it, gotta set up the selfie light, and at that point it's not going to come off genuine and the content's not going to be good, right? So if you need the break,
yeah,
I think you should take it. And I think I like made this goal for myself that in the new year I'm going to try to like start it again and rebrand a little bit, and kind of move into this new transition of my life that's the doctor me, because so far it's just been the student me, and so it's kind of hard to navigate because now I have an extra responsibility. And I don't know if you felt the same way, JD, when you graduated, if like there's like this new standard that I have to be careful now what I say and be careful who I work with, and I'm just not, I was like not ready to kind of move into it yet, because I was like, let me just enjoy life for just a little bit longer before I have to think about some extra things now. And so yeah, I just took a break. Or like when I was doing boards, like I wouldn't post that much like videos and contents like that. I would post me crying or stressing or asking for advice, and that in itself was like some content, but I know it wasn't like what people were used to and things. And if if you need to take a pause, I think your followers and your group will still be there even though you're not growing. And I think sometimes we get caught up in like numbers and continuous growth and all that. And you don't have to keep growing. It doesn't matter what your numbers are. It just matters who your community is and who's watching you. Because who cares?
Yeah.
Like, what is the difference between having 3,000 followers and 15,000 followers? Like, what does that mean to anybody? Like, am I walking down the street and now literally I'm gonna marry Chris Evans tomorrow because he's gonna reach out to my publicist? No, it's not gonna matter.
Chris Evans.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
that's why it's fun. That's the fun
right.
part of it.
Anyway,
Your
that's my
posts.
2 cents.
Yeah.
And then JD, you did mention the thing about like rebranding yourself, you know? So it's like, do you feel like you have to take a break and then go into it again, or?
Yeah, I think as like a new stage of life comes, also like that changes the page with social media. So as you said, I think the first transition is when you're a student, like this is great. It's like a journal. It's like a good dopamine rush when you're stressed. And then when you're a doctor, like things are a little bit more mundane or a little bit more demanding physically, mentally, and so you kind of maybe lose that energy a little bit, and so you have to regroup there. For me, I started posting more about patient cases or interactions with patients, and then now as I transition into another stage, I think I want to post more about things that are actually important to me when it comes to business or contract negotiations, finding jobs, how to have these kind of conversations, and that's something I enjoy more too. And I think that's the thing, we just need to keep growing to things that we enjoy. And as we change as humans, maybe 10 years from now when there's kids or wives or whatever it may be, like those goals change too. And so I think that's completely okay. I think we're all going to hit a wall. I think it's, as Nadia said, it's okay to take a break. I mean, you're doing this for you, but I think it's also, if you want to be smart about it, be consistent, you have content that you already planned out ahead of time. Like I said, a social media manager, maybe you, for the month ahead or the week ahead, you had content already ready when those busy time comes. So it depends on what is really important to you. I think for us, it's just building that community. So it's not necessarily dependent on, did Svet post this week or did Doug, but we're always reaching out to each other when we do post and when we see each other. And like, that's what's important.
I do want to say something about us being on social. I feel like people have a certain idea of the kind of people and doctors we are. And I know that I kind of mentioned this when we were at Academy that like I had a poster, right? Because I felt like that was one of my goals. I was like, I'm going to get out of school and I'm going to do a poster at Academy because I need to make sure that people realize that my life is not just like this dumb social media person, right? That I have this like other background. And I think that sometimes people don't realize that like we are doctors and we're not just like, I'm not just trying to be like an influencer. Like I'm actually seeing patients and I'm actually caring about academia and I'm actually caring about being a doctor too in the background, even though I have this space of like just making people laugh on Instagram and stuff like that.
I mean, even going on that, like for me, my Instagram is probably like 35% Opto and the rest like social or like my life. So I don't know. I feel like I more so post like me having a good time or me like experiencing new things and traveling and having fun. Like, but I don't necessarily post the grind, but people just think that I'm literally just like partying and having fun the whole time. But I'm like, would you really want to see boring posts of me just like studying in like in the lab? Like that's kind of whack to me. So I don't know. I think obviously you want to like in social media you portray yourself as something, but I just think um it's cool. It's necessary to like have a full like scope of everything you do, not just like the one thing like
Right.
optometry only or
Yeah.
only personal, unless that's your personal page.
Yeah,
Right.
going off, I felt the same way. I think my Instagram is kind of opposite to Doug's. It's mainly optometry, and I don't post a lot of personal or a lot of fun things I'm doing. But it kind of came from like a stigma where, oh, well, if this is an optometry Instagram, then I have to be professional. I can't show like certain aspects of my life, or if I do go have fun and I show like, the partying side, is that gonna make me look bad, or will someone not take me seriously? Or just opening up the Instagram account, am I suddenly not as professional? So let me keep the page professional. You know, I don't know if you like sit there and try to if you sit there and really let these things bother you, it actually takes the fun out of it. So I think it's good that we're talking about it, that it's not
I mean,
actually that serious. It's not
do you
that
know
deep.
how many times people have said like, "When do you even study?" And I'm like, "What do you mean? Like I
Yeah,
post one thing a
exactly.
week and
That's what
like
I'm
Yeah.
the
saying.
rest of the 24 hours of my life I am studying or like I'm in school. Like
Yeah.
let me have this 10 minutes, you know?"
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I think to wrap up, like let's go around and say like the coolest thing that's come out of our social pages and like the least exciting thing that's come out of it. So Doug, you want to start?
Coolest thing, I think, being cliche, I would say being able to like meet you guys and just meet other people like you guys who I would have never met. Kind of like how SB said earlier in terms of, having friends in Canada and just like worldwide friends just through social. Like that would never happen if this didn't exist. So shout outs to Instagram for that and like TikTok and everything else. The worst thing, I don't know. I don't really see negativity on my
Wow, must be
Instagram
nice.
personally.
Doug's just living life over there on his IG.
I
Yeah.
don't see negativity. I'm just saying, I don't know. I don't see
Okay, LeBron.
negativity.
Anyway, Svet.
You just learned who that is, okay? So let's go
I
there.
know who it is. It's a joke. You didn't know who Joe Jonas was. Stop. Get out of here. Let's not do this.
I think the best thing that came out of Instagram was like inspiring others, even though I didn't know I was. Just sharing my story and being genuine about my ups and downs um, has had other students, like incoming OD1s or students who are applying or students who are now in school, right? They've talked to me and like reached out to me for advice, and through that I was able to start like a personal statement business. And it's crazy because reading other people's personal statements also keep me inspired to keep going. So I think just that has been amazing, just being able to inspire others and to see them get accepted into school and be genuinely happy for them, because it's not like I don't take it in a way of like, oh, I did that. No, like they invited me into their journey, and I feel so grateful that they like trusted to share, their life with me and why they're applying and what they're doing to get into school. And I want to see other people succeed. So I would say that that's the best part, that I've kind of fell into that through Instagram. And I think probably the worst part about this whole experience, I would say, is the hate or the negative comments. I think I do see them online, of course, but sometimes I'll see them in person, or like, there's just some sly comment in person that's just like, oh yeah, I saw it on your Instagram, but it's like in a negative way. I don't know how else to elaborate that, but
Girls are
there's
petty. Oh no. Damn.
yeah. But there's been some like negative comments in person that I've received. They're like, "Oh yeah, you're recording right now." I'm like, "Well, yeah, this is like kind of what I do." Um, yeah, I think those are the times where it's like, "Oh yeah, let me just put my phone away." But it's like, "No, I'm not gonna do that. Let me keep recording." Yeah.
Hold on, SV, you better plug that personal statement business right now. Do you have a website or something?
I do. It's on my Instagram account. You can click the link in my bio, and then after you click that, I think it says something like, "Do you want me to edit your personal statement?" Or like, "Click here again," and then you click that, and it goes to my website.
That's
Awesome.
what's up.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, JD.
I would say, yeah, as I mentioned before, like getting the job that I currently have through a DM, I think that's amazing. Uh, I wanted to do kind of this, like building relationships in my career that really helped. Patient interactions, people have asked me messages about what to do with their eyes. Got a date or two from it, so you can't deny that was helpful.
Hey.
Optometry Tinder coming to
That is
a
so
city
funny.
near you.
Wait. We need to really get into that
No,
because I already have a name for it.
what is it?
Eyes on me or eyes on you.
Oh, oh, wow.
Eyes
Oh,
on you.
okay.
You swiping. Hey, y'all better not take this.
Wait.
I already
Instead of
Trademarked.
trademarked it. I already trademarked it.
guys. Instead of
Eyes
swiping
on
left and
you.
right, it's swiping one or two.
Oh,
Oh.
Oh.
nice.
Or we give
No,
them
no,
two
no.
choices and you have to pick which one you like.
One or two. Yeah, there's always two.
ODOS.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yes.
goodness.
Wow.
Yo,
We're
stop
gonna
it.
unravel that at a different time.
I think we might have to change our answers for what's the best thing from social media.
Oh no. And then JD, what's the worst thing?
I would say effects on mental health. I think for me, it would be the comparisons. Like I personally am competitive and trying to tone that down in a healthy way where, maybe like I got certain likes a certain amount of days, so then I start feeling better about myself. Or that post got likes, maybe I like that shirt better. Like not letting social media control you, how you feel, not comparing yourself to other influencers. And I think being conscious about that has really helped me, but definitely was not an easy process and not something that came right away.
There's one thing I've learned. I feel like there's a lot of space for all of us. Like, I'm a team
Yeah.
player. I want us all to win. So we can all do it and have a good time doing it. There's no need for like the competition and trying to like put somebody down or think like try to be better than the other because we can all get it.
LeBron, Kobe, D Wade, everybody.
R.I.P.
Those are my guys.
What about you, Nadia?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I'm super grateful about like I've been able to do a lot of cool things. Um, I have so many. I have like a top three. One of the
Okay,
coolest
keep
things
it at
was,
three.
yeah, one of the coolest things what that happened was like when I was in school, I really was advocating for us to get more recognized by like scrub companies because I feel like the public doesn't see us as doctors because we're not marketed, right? And so there's a lot of times when you don't see representation from optometrists on websites. I'm not going to mention them, but like for like scrub companies and specifically. And so I got to have this like really cool partnership with Janu Scrubs. And, I got to like, they flew me out to LA to be like the very first like optometry influencer, student, or whatever to be in a campaign for them.
Okay.
So
Way to
Okay.
that
go,
was really
Nadia.
cool.
D.
Yeah, that was a while ago, but I think it was like last summer. And then, the game changer thing, that was like my dream in optometry school. Like I was like, the first time it came out, I was like, I want to do that. I want to be that.
Okay,
Um,
so for I don't know, for those who don't know what that is, including myself, what is the game changer thing?
So, Eye Care Business Magazine picks 10 people who have changed the industry of like optometry every year, and they honor 10 representatives
Wow.
um, with like it's like optical or corporate. I think it's like different aspects of optometry. And I got to be beside like some people that I genuinely like admire too. So like Habir was one. Essence was one, and these people that I really look up to and have looked up to in the past, who have been in other issues, who are my friends and my mentors. And I was like, it's gonna be me someday. And so, I think having my social and being able to make a difference in the community with just, I mean, you can make a difference. Like, people are looking up to you. People are looking at you for change. People are looking at you for advice and things. So that's something cool that's happened.
Yo, guys, this is a big deal. Like
It is.
we were at Academy, actual Academy in San Diego this last year, and this girl was like, "Oh, I have a photo shoot.
Yeah.
I have a photo shoot on like whatever day. They're coming to the house. They're gonna shoot." I'm like, "Wait, for what? What's going on?" I'm a game changer, like, oh, you're really changing the game. So like, it's
Yeah.
like shout
Yeah.
outs to you, Naughty,
I mean,
because that's
can
big
you believe
time.
it? I'm changing the game from my social media. So like if it's like
Yeah.
if I can do it, you guys can do it. Like I'm nothing
Exactly.
special, and just have
We
put the time in and just shown parts of myself
we were
and
missing the best part of that story, though. The best
what's
part of that story was when she walked into the bathroom and she was like, "Keep the tub clean because I'm gonna take the photo shoot in the tub." And you guys,
Yes, she
you guys
really did.
remember?
I was like, that was a
Yes.
separate photo shoot, guys. Okay, don't give secrets out now. I have not posted
You
any of
said
those
which
pictures
which
yet.
which magazine can we find these
Yeah.
photo shoots?
That's for my one or two eyes on me page.
Hey
Oh, okay.
yo.
Those
My bad. I got
in
it
the back
confused.
pocket. And then, the third coolest thing obviously is the networking part and getting to meet everybody and having friends from all over. And we're all in different time zones right now, and we're still like making things happen and being able to have those mentors and people and being a mentor and all that good stuff. And I appreciate it when people come up and say, "Hey, I follow you, I love your content. Thank you. You inspire me." Like that stuff, I'm gonna tear up, but like that stuff's like what really like gets you, because you don't think that you're making a difference, and you don't think that you're reaching out to these people, and then when they tell you that you are, you're like, wow, I can't believe I'm not doing anything special, but I'm glad that I'm inspiring people, and that's been amazing too. But I think on the downside of it, like the hate, like Svet was saying, like when I first started it and nobody was doing it, people didn't understand what it was. Um, and people would make fun of me and be like, "Oh, you're trying to be an influencer? Like, who are you trying to be? Kim Kardashian? Who? Why are you posting that? Or like, why are you trying to reach for scrub companies? Oh, optometrists wear scrubs too? That's hilarious. Why are you doing that? We don't wear scrubs, And it's like they didn't understand it, and so just learning to kind of like brush that off, I think, was the hard part, and I think that's the hardest part for people, and I think that's what keeps people from starting it and posting, because it just feels like you're under a magnifying glass all the time, right? It's like you can't, like I said, now I'm a doctor. I can't just post whatever I want. I have to be careful who I work with and the brands I work with. And I was lucky enough to kind of like have the good parts that outweighed the bad parts. And sometimes it's like hard. That's about it for me.
Yeah, I always say just in general, like a general thing, mostly like relationships or friendships. If the cons outweigh the pros, then it's not worth it. But if the pros outweigh the cons, like just simply like the simple way to think of it. If
Yeah.
the
But
pros
you
outweigh
never
the
you
cons,
never
then yeah,
know
it's
who's
fine.
watching, right? Like Svet said, like she's a
Yeah.
Latina. She needs to like represent that. Somebody might be watching who's not saying anything, but might be looking up to her. I know like this whole like Black Lives Matter thing is really important. It's great to see that kind of like influence in the industry. I love seeing that. And with JD too, with his Opto turban, and he did a lot of diversity at first too, I think. Just seeing people that look different on social, and who are following their goals. We're all in this together, and again, it's not a competition, and we're all kind of like helping each other rise. Like if somebody reaches out to me and they're like, "Hey, can you reblog my post?" Sure, of course I will, if you guys want me to. Or people are like, "Hey, can you post about this job thing that my friends are looking," or whatever. So yeah, I'm always open to that. I want to help people, and if I can do something for the community, I'm always willing to.
Right. It's hard to be the number one Nigerian optometrist of all time, but we do what we can, and
I think
it's
that
it's been.
is Dr. Glover Nigerian?
Is he really?
You
I
might have some
mean,
competition.
is he really?
Uh-oh, Doug.
Oh man, he
Gotta do
probably
your
did
research.
23 and me. I don't know, but if he is, shout out to him. And I'm trying to get to being your favorite optometrist. You know what I'm saying? So it's all
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, it's okay. We get it. And on that note, I think we'll wrap that up for today.
It's all right.
Yeah,
Yeah. So see you on the
that was good.
optometry Tinder app, guys.
We'll see you
Optometrist. No,
there.
wait, eyes on you.
Eyes on you.
One or two.
Yeah. You can see the
That
bathtub photos.
I already trademarked it.
You'll have to keep swiping until you get there. I don't actually think that I did. I think that I took pictures of Liebna and then that was it. I don't know. Oh yeah, follow
Yeah.
us on Instagram, the Depth Perception, Spotify,
The
YouTube.
depth perception. We're everywhere. Let's go.